This is Imagine, using the triads, but using them in an actual piece of music. And so we're going to start like that. We're going to use our thumb, our second finger, and our fourth finger. And then we're going to reach the little finger. And then we're going to use, and this is an F chord. So we're going to use our middle finger and our little finger. It's kind of important to use the right fingers. I want the idea that once you get this basic 2, 3, 4 movement down, you've got them down in every key. It's the idea of having the thumb, the second finger and the fourth finger moving to the thumb, the middle finger and the little finger, and the left hand then obviously with the accompanying roots. And if you're, by the way, I remind you that I did last week as well, which is if you really struggle with the left hand, just do that on its own. Until that feels comfortable. Just spend a little bit of time on that on its own, you know, if needs be. So what I was just saying is you can actually have, I mean, you can actually play a blues. If you keep the root as E. It's that old classic.
Oh, okay.
You know? Now at this stage, 3 chord types that we're considered within the module. The major 7th, which is C major 7. There's the C triad, very familiar. And with jazz and with this module we're adding, with the jazz tunes, you nearly always add a 7th, which is a major 7th, which can be found very simply coming down from the C by a semitone. But when we talk about 7th, we mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the major scale, okay? When we move that 7 to a minor 7th, but we keep the 3rd as a major 3rd, then we have a major 3rd and a minor 7th, so that gives us a dominant 7. The major 3rd and the minor 7 gives us a dominant 7. It also has this distinctive tritone in its intervallic makeup, which is 3 tones, 1, 2, 3, from one note to the other. And we nearly always regard that as a 5 chord. And then when we make the 3rd a minor, we get a minor 7 chord. So both the 3rd and the 7th are minor. We still have the 5th. The 5th has been constant in all of these, you'll notice. That's why the 3rd and the 7th are so important in identifying the chord, because they change, but the 5th doesn't. So you can... Right, here is your 2-5-1 drill. We're going to have A minor 7 to D7, the bottom drops, to G major 7, to G major 6. Now at that point, we're going to stay on a G, but we're going to start this. So, okay, so here we go. Going forward. Okay, right, so we have the 2-5-1 like that. We also have a knowledge of the shell voicings just with your left hand and assuming. Like for a melody. And the other one then going forward is you can try playing, instead of playing this, split it between the hands. So your left hand plays a root and a 7th, or a root and a 3rd. Your right hand plays the other 3rd or 7th. In this instance, as you can see, root 7th, 3rd in the thumb, root 3rd, 7th in the thumb, and it's the same note. Again, this thing is nice and easy. And then root 7th, 3rd in the thumb. And I don't often play the 6th, but I suppose you could. And you could just practice it through then the keys. You could do that again, actually. Here we go. So the other concept is something I love to do if you're playing solo piano. One of the first tunes I often teach students would be like, say something like Ain't Misbehaving, which is actually not too tough, really, if you have a bit of a rudimentary knowledge. So again, you're just using the block chords. C6. A7. Now this is where it becomes a little bit tricky again, because you're using inversions. D to G. And so that's a nice thing to do. And I suppose you could just transfer that.